Greetings everyone, this is a video log test here. I'm trying some new stuff out, and I actually had another video that I made before this 2 weeks ago, and when I went to put it in for post-production and get it, you know, onto YouTube, unfortunately I found out that I had plugged my microphone in wrong and I was getting absolutely no audio. So the footage, as fun as it was kind of useless for what I wanted to do. It was basically me lane splitting for about 16 miles in silence. And I'm hoping that this test proves to be a little bit more fruitful. I don't know how much lane splitting is going to be involved with this one, but I'm actually just heading to school right now. I'm just passing the La Tijera exit here on the 405 and resurrecting a microphone configuration here that I had used before. So I'm just trying to see like how good the quality is in regards to what the camera sees. But one of the biggest issues that I was coming across was that as I was traveling down the road, the vibrations of the road were going to the camera and then causing the entire mount to go off of, basically making the camera dip. And I had to like manually take my hand and readjust it as necessary. So I'm gonna see, this is about a 25 maybe mile ride to campus, and really curious to see how this is gonna withstand. So I'm just gonna continue talking here about life, liberty, and the pursuit of all things that could make me happy. It is a nice little day here in LA. It's a nice respite from all of the rain that we've been having, but I will say it is pretty cold right now to what I say, so Southern California standards. My bike, good old Eleanor here, is reading 56 degrees and there is wind. So wind chill factor, we're probably looking about 50 or so. I mean, that isn't probably bothering me much because, well, I got my jacket on and I got my gloves on, so everything should be fine. This is the 405 in all its glory at 2:20 in the afternoon on a Thursday. I got class at 5. I figure finish my errands a little bit earlier than I expected, so I might as well just make my way down to campus, get some extra work done, submit a couple things, you know, that sort of bit, and just, you know, make sure I'm ready for class, because apparently I got to present tonight. And yeah, another one of those. Believe me, after being in school for so long, you get to a point where none of this really matters. The points matter. It's not like whose line is it anyway, but the points do matter, but you don't have to matter as much, because really whatever you do is going to be received well as long as you do your work. So just to explain the configuration I have here, I have several RAM mounts on my bike. Actually a total of 6 actually. Points where I can attach a correction, make that, yeah, it's 5 points, balls, if you will, where I can mount any RAM arm onto the bike and attach an accessory, be it my cell phone holder or a cup holder, or a RAM ball attached to my GoPro, which is allowing me to record this right now. All sorts of things. So what happened was there was an issue with the last mounting configuration that I had that was causing way too much vibration, and I think it's just that the ball that was attached to the GoPro wasn't being fastened down properly, and it was too loose and it was just moving around like it does. So the only caveat of using this configuration is, and I have to check this in post-production, but I'm not really sure if you can see the odometer on my bike or my gear indicators at all because of the way that the camera is tilted. You're just looking at the road right now, which isn't really a big deal, to be honest, because, you know, this is probably the closest you're going to get to seeing exactly what I see. Now, since we're going to be heading up the 405 southbound at 2:20 in the afternoon, this part of the freeway will be pretty packed. Just a forewarning is that yes, I will be lane splitting. Yes, this is legal in the state of California. However, because of the size of Eleanor, I will not be splitting probably as fast as some people that I will be yielding to who will be passing me. So just FYI on that. I do it out of personal safety, and also because I do have a particular riding style that I'm pretty conservative with that. I figure that that has worked well for me over the years because, to be honest, you know, having gone 15 years, knock on wood, without any major incidents, I am totally okay with taking my time to get to where I need to be. It's not worth it, and class doesn't begin for another, frankly, 2.5 hours. So I really could care less, but it makes for a good video. So current configuration I have right now is the RAM arm connected to this, to a proprietary microphone adapter, which you have to get through GoPro for my GoPro Hero 5 Black, shooting in 1080p 60. Unfortunately, I have to get that proprietary piece, otherwise it doesn't work. But one of the cool things about it is that there is a pass-through for power. And since my bike is already equipped with a USB Type-C cord for my phone, which is the exact same cord that is used for the GoPro Hero 5, there's no issue, and my camera has power. So theoretically, I could have this camera on the entire time. Not a problem. Now, one of the things that I hope to do next time is I think there is a possible way that I can connect my phone to this camera and possibly do a live feed to Facebook. Have not tried that yet. That's going to be something I'll probably do as a test. And if that works out, I might actually be able to just live stream these things as I make them, which would be pretty cool. Now, what I'm hearing is that the GoPro Hero 7 now offers direct connectivity to Facebook Live or other web streaming, such as YouTube. Obviously, you know, that would be something to really consider if I end up doing this more frequently. But the current configuration I have right now with the 5 Black plus microphone adapter is like perfect. So I'm speeding up right now because there's a guy behind me, and I'm going to let him go. And you do your thing, man. Mr. Jixer, nice to see you. The narrower the bike, the faster you can go. I think that's probably the unspoken rule around here. I'm hoping that with some other webcasts that I do, I will be playing around with my 2011 Kawasaki Versys that has no bags and is about as thin as it gets. Hoping that if this works out well and I actually set up my hardware properly like I should have last time, all of this is going to look pretty good on screen. The only thing though I would have to apologize for is, and I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up in post, it probably will because it's a pretty good camera, but my windshield is completely covered in mineral water droplets because I didn't bother to wipe down my windshield before I actually left to go and take care of my errands today. So it might be a little bit dirty windshield, but I just hope you still enjoy the show, and I hope this all just works out. Because in this particular test, I am not going to touch my camera at all. And so if it dips, I'll find out later, but as of right now, I'm just gonna let it go. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually matter. One thing I've learned about the early afternoons on the weekdays on 405 southbound, doesn't matter how early you leave, there's just going to be too many cars going this way because everyone's trying to go south because nobody lives up north cheaply. And so 405 southbound is always crappy. So probably, you know, you might get that little lane splitting exhibition after all. I have a feeling. Or we'll just be cruising like this at 55 miles an hour and I can just sit and enjoy the show. Whichever the case is, you know, point of view is a nice thing to have. There's a lot of people who, you know, practice lane splitting. I mean, almost like every motorcyclist who lives out here in California has to use it. Use the maneuver at least once a day just to get around something. Especially on the freeway during rush hour, it becomes super useful and a lot more efficient and pretty much justifies the reason why you are on two wheels, because you can. Now, I also get asked sometimes, it's like, well, what about those three-wheeled things, you know, those spiders? Well, spiders in themselves are about as wide as cars. So, no, spiders cannot lane split. But if you're talking about another three-wheeled motorcycle or scooter, like a Piaggio MP3, for example, or the new Yamaha Nikon, oh yeah, no, those bikes, they can split. They're narrow enough. There's no issue there. It's just that spiders, you can't do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I like spiders. Spiders are really just amazing machines for what they are. They definitely are a different breed from a standard motorcycle, you know, in many ways. Oh, and FYI, this Crepes Bonaparte food truck here, gotta be careful. I don't know if you can make it out, but on the right side, it has there's a serving tray, or more like a kind of a surface that sticks out to the right side of this. So that's not something to consider when you're trying to get past the truck. Is there shit sticking out of the side of the truck? This is one of those few where I have never seen it sticking out like that, and that looks like I mean, I understand this is some, you know, some French reference stuff right here, but that's pretty much a guillotine right there. So I'm gonna pass this guy very gingerly when I have the opportunity to do so, but yeah, that's not good. I'm actually a little worried about that. Oh, jeez. Because, I mean, you could get sliced easily with that. That's one thing that does scare me, is that, you know, please, 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 for the love of... Kind of looking behind me here. I'm actually curious how this this audio sounds. I have my microphone nicely nested between between the nose guard of my helmet and some other thing here. But yeah, you see this right here? This is a little ridiculous. I'm passing you by. Yeah, that's not cool. I would be very concerned for a motorcycle, especially if they didn't see that, because silver reflects against the sun. That would be kind of hard to see. Let's just get out of some mess right now and just continue on with life. 405 at Torrance. A couple motorcycles getting some assistance right now. Looking like older vintage bikes. I think one of them looks like a Kawasaki police bike. Yep, it's a chipped bike. I'm in the process, in regards to my Kawasaki Versys, I am in the process of adding a power option for the bike. So, of course, in USB Type-C, so that I can actually power a GoPro and my phone if I felt like it when I needed to. Yep, I am faster than a Tesla at rush hour. Of course, you know, if I'm actually able to post this online and you like what you see and you have any suggestions on what you'd like me to cover, talk about, discuss, I'm probably going to get questions like, you know, do you consider talking on, you know, while you're doing this a distraction? And I mean, my answer would be no, because I probably would be talking to myself anyway. Or singing in the shower with my music on. With it being like 59 degrees right now and windy, I am not looking forward to getting out of class later. It's going to be freezing. You know, I got my all-weather Aerostitch on, but I'll tell you, you know, wind finds places. Wind finds holes that you don't even realize you have, and man, I tell you, it's not pleasant. As you can see here, the traffic flow on the 405 comes and goes. Slow down for no reason, slow down because of a reason. You never know. And by the time you get to like where the slowdown ends, you don't even know how it started in the first place. the definition of traffic. When it comes to lane splitting, all bikes have the capability of doing it unless you're pulling a trailer or have a sidecar. Or you're a spider. Because spiders, under, you know, the definition of a motorcycle in California, are motorcycles. So, but yeah, as long as you are like the width of a standard bike, a little bit bigger, it's okay. You can pass through. I've seen Goldwing's lane split through here, but I mean, I'm not like that hardcore. I mean, even just having Eleanor here with a 2007 FJR 1300, you know, that's more than enough for me. But the rule of thumb is, it's kind of like whiskers. If my mirrors can clear the space, then the rest of the bike will. So that's the rule of thumb right now. I do not know what's going on. Currently for tonight, is a 20% chance of rain in Long Beach. 20% is more like saying, we just want to say that it might happen, but it's probably not going to. You also have to like watch out for random debris on this middle yellow line. Like that was a dead cat. I wish I was kidding, that was actually a dead cat. To lane splitting while cars are moving, I know my personal rule is if it's actually moving at a half decent clip, I'm not going to attempt the move. It just has to be, gotta be slow enough, because you know, when you're moving, you have the ability to change your mind and switch lanes without much notice. So if the more that a car is at a standstill, the easier it is, or at least the more secure feeling it is to get around them. I'm also not running fully at 5th gear. I'm kind of running cautiously at 4th with the ability to punch it if I have to. That also gives me enough torque to engine brake if I have to as well. Or at least downshift down to 3rd, which will allow me to engine brake even harder. I do engine brake a lot on this bike. There's no real... It's got so much torque that it can actually stop itself. The engine itself still has so much power that I can tractor around a parking lot in first without even holding the throttle. It's pretty impressive. Not too bad for a motorcycle with nearly 203,000 miles on the odometer. So currently, I mean, the only real thing that I have issues with on this bike as of the, you know, this mileage mark is that the slave clutch cylinders, it's actually two cylinders for the clutch, for the hydraulic fluid. The slave cylinder is leaking, so I have to keep an eye on it, and it's actually what caused some trouble with back last February, about a year ago, in which I didn't realize that was the problem, and I ran out of brake fluid, which caused my clutch to basically stop responding because I had no pressure. Now that I know that that's the problem, until I can get that replaced, which I actually did buy the part, I found it on eBay for 25 bucks, I have to keep an eye on the hydraulic fluid levels coming from on my clutch side to make sure that I have fluid. If I don't have fluid, I don't have clutch pressure, and then I can't release the clutch. So it's important to have the fluid. I had to top it off a little bit today, so I have a reserve bottle of .4 brake fluid for you know, for topping off. I mean, it doesn't need a lot, but you have to make sure that there's something in there. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to release the clutch at all. It's just gonna stay locked, and I can't even basically, once I get into first, it stalls because it's not releasing. So, yeah, you don't want to do that. Also, by replacing the master cylinder, the slave cylinder, that will also allow me to do a complete clutch bleed, which will also help restore more of the smoothness of the clutch actuation. It's a little clunky right now. There's probably air in the clutch because of the constant need to refill the fluid, but I'm hoping that as when I'm able to finally replace that part, I can do a full bleed and get that all cleaned out, and we'll be back to normal again. Getting a little cloudier down this way. Woo, that wind. Yeah, it got me pretty good right now. Approaching the 710 freeway interchange here at the 405. So we just entered Long Beach airspace, as I'm going to call it. There's a little bit extra here to get in. I'm actually heading to the 405 22 West interchange, which then leads me straight into campus, because on the south side, because Cal State Long Beach pretty much is on 7th Street, which doubles into California 22. I have other options too. I could exit Bellflower Boulevard, that is an option, and that would just take me about 1.8 miles approximately off the exit into campus that way. But usually I just kind of take a straight shot in, call it a day. No real reason to, go nuts. Per se. That's the thing about Cal State Long Beach. It's a pretty long campus. If you park on one side of campus, it'll probably take you about 25 minutes to walk across. It's not very wide of a campus, but the way that the parking is configured, if you are taking a car, there's a huge parking structure, or a set of parking structures to the side of on the north end of campus. But then if you have, let's say you want to go to the library, you want to go to the College of Education, which is on the absolute south end of campus, it would take you a very long time. There's bus shuttles for that, because you might not want to do it, because to go from north side of campus to south, you got to go into the south side of campus to take care of business. But I will say though, having to walk to the bookstore from the College of Education, it's a little bit of a hike. But hey. So on other news, I'm just enjoying my last semester in grad school. These trips down to Long Beach aren't going to be as frequent as they are right now, which, they aren't frequent in the first place. I only go every 2 weeks, but still though, I'll have different reasons to come back down south. Let's put it that way. And I'm looking forward to when this is not really something I have to do all the time. It's been a long 2 years. I've had a lot of things happen to me in these last 2 years. Going to school, job changes, life changes, people changes, those kind of things. But I'm still alive, and that's what matters. Yeah, you're talking about life when riding. Even in the worst kind of traffic, I find myself contemplating things just randomly while I'm, negotiating all of this freeway nonsense. And yeah, you really do end up thinking about a lot about life, when you're on two wheels. If you're in the mountains or you're on a beautiful twisty road, you're just kind of doing your thing. Nah, regardless, you're probably thinking about life somewhere. Or whether or not you left the oven on and the brownies are still in there. Fortunately, that has not happened to me in real life. But, you know, there is always that underlying fear that, you know, you accidentally left the oven on. Nobody likes that. Passing the Long Beach Airport to my left. This is where traffic kind of goes weird. Right after Long Beach is Seal Beach, which is the gateway into Orange County. Currently, traffic is surprisingly okay right now. I mean, I would say starting probably around 3:30, that's really when it goes to hell, southbound. I'm missing most of it by going this early. That's good. I have to say though, Eleanor may be up for an oil change pretty soon. Might have to do that. I think my verse is maybe up for an oil change as well. The rule of thumb is, you know, if you're using regular conventional, you know, motorcycle oil, as in, you know, just standard oil, you want to change the oil every 6 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. And this is one of the first times where I've actually had to look and go, yeah, you know what, it's been almost 6 months since I last changed the oil on this bike. I think it needs to be changed. It's really rare for me to have to change oil on a bike due to time rather than miles, but you know, I got a bunch of things to do and can't really dedicate as much time to riding as I normally do, and that's why I look forward to class days. Mainly, well, one thing is because I can take my bike out to play again. Obviously this is a temporary problem, but someday I'll be able to stick some more miles on good old Eleanor here, who's been just such a trooper these last 12 years that we've been together. Passing the exit that I would have gotten off of here at Bellflower Boulevard. I'm gonna go and be a student for a few hours and all that fun jazz. So ta-ta for now, and I hope this ends up on YouTube. We'll see what happens.